Hello, my name is Neal, and I am here today to interview my parents, Mr. Santosh and Mrs. Suman on behalf of the Indo-American Oral History Project, which is being brought to you in partnership with the Houston Public Library and the Houston Community College. A little bit about myself. I am currently working as a pharmacist in Dallas, Texas, but I was brought up in Houston and I lived here most of my life. I went to school here from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade, or through 12th grade. And I'm very excited to be here to interview my parents and ask them questions about their journey that I've wondered honestly my whole life. I'm excited to share this with everybody, and hopefully we'll learn, actually I know we'll learn a lot about their journey from India to the US and eventually to Houston.
Okay, first let me thank Krishna Vavilala for inviting me and giving an opportunity to tell my life. And Foundation for India Studies is doing excellent service, and I like this Indo-American Oral History project, which may be very good. It will be serving a good objective, particularly for the future generations of Indians. Maybe after so many centuries, they will remember us. And they will be thanking Mr. Krishna Vavilala particularly for initiating this project.
Sure, definitely. Well, so before we get into the questioning of you being in Houston, how you got to Houston, I'd like to know a little bit about your life in India before you came to the US. So what was your life working in India or before you even came here?
In India, I was very well settled beyond expectation. We had company provided quarters. I was living in the colony, and only the drawback was that the shopping center, village shopping center, was 7 miles away. So I had to, every Sunday, I had to go on a bike to bring the grocery, putting the grocery on both sides of the handle, cycle handle, and also on the back.
Right.
And that was in hot summer.
Right.
But we had to do it. But that was only the negative factor, and otherwise we had this lots of the domestic servants were available. We did not have to do anything like what we do over here. That was a plus point. And also there was no layoff. We did not know what is layoff. So it was free from the layoff and all these things. In fact, I worked for 11 years over there. And it was a close-knit community.
Right.
Here we don't know who is our neighbor.
Right.
But there, if somebody used to come there, they will ask who came to your house, and they will invite us.
Right.
So that was the difference. And also, I did not have the luxury like over here. I had only bicycle initially.
All right.
And later on, we bought scooter and fridge and all refrigerator furniture.
Yeah.
We had to wait from month to month for salary.
Right.
As soon as we accumulated money, we used to buy them. It was not like over here, credit card system, borrow and buy.
Right.
We had to get the money first and buy.
Right.
So it requires some patience
to
get these items. And that was a very good life.
Right. Right. So when you say you had a bicycle for a long time, how did you and Mummy go around if you wanted to go, go somewhere, if you wanted to go to the movies or something like that?
She used to sit behind on the back side of the cycle, and we used to go there.
Okay.
But when we got the scooter, my wife used to be behind on back, and 2 children were in front of the scooter.
Okay. It sounds like a lot of fun back then.
Yeah. And there was a peaceful mind, and there was no serial layoff or anything. That was a good thing also.
Yeah. So, Mummy, what was your perspective of life back then? How did you feel you were doing there?
was happy there because the job is good, the house is good, the company paid everything. And it was good, servant and everything. I have 2 kids there. So I am happy.
So, when were you thinking of coming to the U.S.? Like, what made you think, okay, I should go to the U.S.?
Okay, when I was studying in engineering college in 62 or something, most of the engineering graduates and medical graduates had dreamed to go abroad and study. I had a dream at that time. And moreover, I found many people, my class fellows, living for abroad with the support of their parents or support of their in-laws or something. But then I thought I will work, save money. When the money is there, I will go there. But I found later on that it was not feasible. So I worked for 11 years, and suddenly President John F. Kennedy was elected as the President of USA, and he opened the doors for immigration for Asia and also for India. And I took advantage of that opportunity. And that was a great turning point. Had I missed that opportunity, I don't know what would have been my situation. I would not be as happy as what I'm here. And I fulfill all my desires of my life.
Yeah.
So I'm happy. So I got selected in 71. They offered me visa in 71, but I took advantage in 74, 3 years after that, because I was in dilemma whether to come here or not to come here, something like that.
Oh, okay.
And I was also thinking, I thought that why not to work for 2 years in USA instead of working for 2 years somewhere in India.
Right.
Anyhow, I wanted to change my job.
Right.
But there was great risk involved.
Yeah.
But so much so that my wife got angry. She tore down the passport. She said, nothing doing. We don't have to go there.
Okay.
And then that's why I took 3 years. And finally, my wife, when she went to her mom's place for the delivery of my daughter, Nilima, I resigned. And 1 month after, in October 74, on 20th October 74, I came to Chicago.
You came here. Wow.
And incidentally, but I forgot to tell you that this year I'm turning 75.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And we had 75 on 31st of March.
Right.
And we had 50th anniversary on 20th January.
Yeah.
So we have a very good, fruitful life.
You have it. It's
We
amazing.
enjoy the life.
50 years.
But also, there was ups and downs in the life.
Sure.
We faced that bravely, and ultimately we are happy. We don't have any desire whatsoever.
I agree. Yeah. No. I hope me and Joshi, we can last at least 50 years as well, just like you guys. So I'm very proud of that. Very proud of that. So around 1974, you came to the U.S. Papa. So, Mummy, what were you thinking? Papa mentioned that you kind of tore up the passport, didn't want to come here. What were you thinking at that time?
Because the only reason if he comes to America, where I will stay, I have to stay my in-laws or mother place. And that place is in a small town, village, like that. And my kids are studying here, where he was working. It's in English school. And they don't have English school, not very good schools.
Right.
So I was worried how it will happen. They were in 3rd, 4th grade, 5th grade, actually, 3rd, 4th grade, 2nd, 3rd. So that's what I thought, no, you cannot go. So I torn the passport.
But at the same time, I was confident because I moved with my father at number of places. I changed lots of school during my school career.
Right.
I thought that when I could do that, why they cannot do this?
Yeah.
That was my thinking and argument. When I could do this, they should be able to do that.
Should be able to go too.
And that's why I was not worried.
So how did you get your passport back together? Did you have to apply for another one, or?
We just glue it.
That's good. At least they didn't give you any trouble at this airport security for that. Okay, so now you're here, and you're back at home in India. What were you thinking when Papa was in the U.S. alone, and were you, did you, and you had 3 kids at this time. You had 2 older kids and 2 month. Did you feel scared? How were you feeling?
No, I don't feel scared, but I was worried because how I'm gonna stay here, how he's gonna go there, and there are good times and bad times. But I am staying with my parents. My in-laws are there also in the same town. Sometime I visit them, and I have a small sister. They are not married, so it's a very big family.
Yeah.
So my kids are very comfortable there.
Okay.
It's a big house, play, everything.
Right.
So that kind of thing, I am happy.
Yeah. You had a big family support.
That's a big family. But so there is a worry and there is a hope also.
Mm-hmm.
That in future maybe it might be something good or whatever.
Right. Right.
Like that.
See the advantage of the joint family.
Yeah.
Because of the joint family, I am here, you are in good position.
She's still-
All children are in good position. That was because of the joint family support.
Right.
And right now we find families disintegrating.
Right.
They don't believe in joint family system.
Right. 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 No, that's true. Everyone moves into their own
Oh,
house.
yeah, the lifestyle is like that.
Yeah, lifestyles like that.
Like that.
That is true. So, since you're living at home in India now, you're in Chicago, right? So, what was your first impression of Chicago when you landed? What were you thinking?
Chicago, when I came, I had overconfidence.
Yeah.
I thought that since my qualification and experience have been recognized by government of USA,
Mm-hmm.
and on the basis of which they gave me green card, I should not have problem.
Right.
But after going there, I found something different. When you asked the people what was the best thing in the year,
Yeah.
they used to say the year has passed.
Right.
That itself is the best thing. That was a very bad
It's a
situation.
bad economy.
And I had also read about this, and I used to read about this in the American magazines like Time and all this thing in India also. But
Right.
still I ventured to go there.
Yeah.
And there also I learned the meaning of overqualification and underqualification.
Right.
In
Okay.
India, overqualification helps you to get a job.
Right.
But in this country, it does not help you. You have to match your qualification and experience with what they want, with the
Right.
requirement. So I had a great problem.
Yeah.
So if I mention my Indian qualifications and foreign experience, they wanted domestic qualification and domestic experience,
Right. Okay.
which I could not give. So I thought, let me go for higher education. And there were 2 alternatives. I just to do a master's, spend 2 years waiting of the time, and spend money, or do registration by exam, taking exam, 16 hours exam.
Yeah.
So I took leave, studied for 16 hours, and took the exam, and I passed in first attempt.
Right.
And I had a great hope that that is going to help me.
Mm-hmm.
But when I went there to get the job with my PE license, same problem was there.
Right.
I did not have domestic experience. All I had was foreign experience.
All Indian experience.
And when I went, I had to compete with the young people. I was 40-year-old at that time.
Right.
So that was also bias. So I could not get job even with that.
Right.
Some people advised me, do one thing. Don't show your PE, don't show your degree, just tell you are a high school graduate.
Right.
And I also wanted second shift job. And that was possible only by working as inspector, quality control inspector in second shift job. Other jobs were not available.
Right.
And they wanted high school graduate qualification, and somebody should be able to read the blueprint and all these things and use of the measuring equipment instruments like micrometers and all these things. I went there, I told I'm a high school graduate, I could read the drawing because I was an engineer, but they didn't know. And I knew how to use the instruments. They hired me, and that was my job, second shift job. I was happy because I have whole day to look for the job, and that was the first step.
Right. That's amazing. I mean, I would never think that you had to hide your degree and your qualifications just to find a job. I would never, everyone always puts everything they can on a resume to make themselves better, but you had to do kind of the opposite.
Other instances are there. When I went in October 74, there was a very big snowstorm. It was very cold. I did not have a car or anything. I had to walk in cold, look for a job. Even if you could not say good morning to your fellow countrymen. Even you could not write application after going to office. You had to wash with warm water. You could not even talk and all these things. That was the other thing. And once I was walking on the road with suited for interview. The bus came. It threw this mud. That mud means a mixture of ice and salt on my suit. I had to go back. Once I was going in the bus, and there's some address was given, street and number. But in Chicago, the street goes through the number of suburbs. And they change this start again from 0 in different suburbs. I had the street number and address, but I didn't get that place, so I had to go back. The reason being, it was in different suburb, not in the same suburb. So all these things, I thought that was giving me a problem. Then I thought, why not to buy a car? So luckily, I could buy the car in $500, the Chevy Impala. But I did not realize the trouble. I knew how to drive. I had confidence of driving. But I was failing every time in the driving test. And because of that, I could not get a license. I could not get insurance. I could not drive the car. And I had a driving permit that required me to have some driver by this on passenger side. I did not know anybody, any driver over there. So whenever I used to go to look for a job, I had to see my car parked in the street, walking to look for the job. And finally, I thought I should bribe the people. My countrymen told me, don't do that. If you do that, and if you are caught, you will be deported. So I was scared also to give the bribe. Then they suggested me to go to driving school. And I told them, I know the driving, I've got confidence in driving, but I'm not getting the driving license. You have to get me driving license, that's it. Then they told me, you should do some acting. For example, if they say take left turn, then you have to make your turn left turn like this. And if you don't make, you fail. And nobody had told me about that thing. Then I did according to the instructions. I got the license like that.
So then you got a car. Then you were able to look for a job. So this is all happening.
And also there were other things. The worst thing was matching the qualification and experience. And that taught me to fabricate the resume. I used to know this is the job is there, know the company, know the name of the product, learn something about that, fabricate the resume, even though you did not have experience on that. And that's what I learned, the trick, and I was getting job like that only.
Well, you have to do what you have to do to survive. That's why you're here, and that's why I'm here, luckily. So I mean, it's commendable that you made it here and you found out how to survive, basically. So all this time you're here, and Mummy, you're in India, and finally your time has come. Papa's. Well, actually, how were you guys communicating in India? When Papa was here and you were in Damo, right?
Letter is the only way.
Right.
He wrote me letter, then I reply him, but he was not there that time. He went to come to Houston, sometime different city. So the letter reaches, but he don't get right away.
He never got.
It
He never
takes
got your letter.
yeah, it's like months.
Mm.
So somehow, I don't know what is going on, but it was
You.
like this, yeah.
So when you came,
And so what happened, at that time, my friend got job from Chicago to Houston,
uh
and he invited me and told me, so you come here, stay with me and look for the job.
right?
And I went there.
Did you like Houston? at that time?
I came Houston.
Yeah.
And my other friend went to California, like that. So I thought that I should have gone to California. But anyhow, I stayed here, and after some time, I got a job.
Right.
But that was a designer's job, and that required drafting and all these things, good writing and all these things. And I was not good in drawing, and it was to be quick
Mm.
in drawing. I knew how to do calculations, but I was not getting that job.
Right.
So I got laid off. And what happened? Meanwhile, I got interview call
And,
from Detroit
okay.
on the fabricated resume. I did not have experience there, but I mentioned all these things.
All right.
And that was with Bechtel
Mhm.
power plant. They wanted power plant experience. I had experience in the cement plant.
All right.
I did not know anything about power plant. I made that resume. I worked for power plant, so and so, these things.
Yeah.
I went there, and luckily interview was taken by Indian. I was very happy. Oh, he's
yeah.
taking my interview.
Right.
And then he asked me the deep questions, and to which I could not answer because I did not have experience.
Yeah.
And finally I told him that I don't have experience actually, thinking that he's Indian, so he will sympathize with me
All right.
and he will hire me. But I was not hired,
All right.
so I had to go back to Chicago. Instead of coming to Houston, I went to Chicago.
And so that's where the letter confused you.
Yeah, so that I don't know what is going on there.
So when you
And then my father-in-law was saying, let him earn money. Then you can go after 1 year, 2 year, like that. So 3 years passes like this.
and you're thinking he's making a lot of money.
Yeah, he's making good money.
Okay.
So then that's the way. 3 years after I joined him.
Yeah. And when you flew, you came here with all the
No, I came with my daughter. She is 3-year-old
Okay.
that time. Yeah.
Okay.
So my visa call come Bombay. I went to Bombay, and we are flying from Bombay to New York.
Mhm.
And he wrote me a letter. The letter was from Houston.
Mhm.
That somebody can help you, my friend can help you in New York to change the flight to Chicago.
All right.
And I am confused. The letter is from Houston and my ticket is from Chicago,
Right.
for Chicago.
For Chicago.
So I don't know what to do anyway. I cannot do whatever is going on. I just flow with the
Go with
time
the flow,
and
yeah.
everything. So finally I reached to New York, and then he wrote a letter that you pass the gate. You come out of the gate and then friend will meet you there. Her name something Patel or somebody.
Yeah.
So, but as soon as I came to New York, all the formality I finished,
Yeah.
pick up my luggage, and I don't see the gate. I thought gate is something like you can close and open. So I was staying there. I was sitting with my all luggage and Nilima and one big blanket I brought.
Right.
And that friend was, then he sent somebody from airport or
Yeah.
something that, send her, I am waiting for her, I have to. And when I go outside, he was little bit irritated because he waited almost hour or 2 hours maybe.
Right.
I was sitting there. So, and those people are coming with me, they don't want to come back. They go, abhi aata hoon karke, I will come back, and they go. They never come back. Okay. Then finally he took me to, and I have to change the airport. So that friend helped me to change the airport. I already missed the flight. He gave me the next flight. I came by next flight and I saw him in Chicago.
So what did you, in Chicago, what were you expecting? What did you see when you saw him?
I was mad little bit because I don't know where I am going. I mean, you know,
Right.
it's like this. But then finally we sit in a car, and
The car that he bought, yeah.
yeah, the car he bought, and I am happy that I have a car, and it's going on then, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Um,
And my daughter, she was scared.
yeah.
She, you know, every time he comes in front of him, she hide.
Because it's been
She
3
yeah,
years,
she
yeah.
did not see her 3 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So when did she feel more comfortable? What did it take?
Slowly she is comfortable, but she is more comfortable when my other kids came, elder kids, Parag and Seema.
Okay. And they came.
They came on 79th.
And they came separately because you guys were more settled at that
Yeah,
time?
yeah, because he don't have a good job that time when I came. After I came, after 6 months he got a good job, engineering job.
Okay.
So we thought now we can call them
Call them.
like that.
Okay.
So then I'm very happy that time.
So you were happy. So when now everybody, they were here. This is 1979, right?
Yeah, 79.
So now you guys are living, or are you having a hard time finding a place to live
Well,
in
there
Chicago
is
with
a
this big of a family? Or?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was an apartment, small apartment, but since I call my other kids, we need big place.
Right.
So we try to rent it, but nobody is renting with children in Chicago. It's very hard. So we bought a small townhouse because I started working also, saved some money for down payment, and we bought a small townhouse in Skokie.
Okay. Okay. So then now you're happy. You guys
So
are settled.
when I bought the house, we move in. I'm very happy that I have some place
Right.
to live nicely, freely.
Right.
And after 1 week, you born.
Oh, okay. I'm happy about that too.
Yeah, yeah,
So good. So now I guess everybody's starting to get settled.
yeah.
But you always said that there's lots of layoffs here in the U.S. So what did you do when you were laid off? I know for me, I mean when I got a little bit older and I understood what a layoff meant, I didn't fully understand, but I knew I was a little bit happier because you were at home. Both mommy and papa were at home. So to me, I was a little bit happier, but I know it must have been a big struggle for you, and you kind of mentioned all the struggles you had finding a job.
The unemployment period is also a full-time job for
Right.
looking for a job. Looking for a job is also a full-time job.
Right.
So you have to look for the advertisement,
Mm-hmm.
see what the company does, get information about product, prepare for that, fabricate the resume accordingly,
Right.
specific resume. It's not a one resume for all jobs.
Right.
And go for interview, something like that. That was another thing. So, but my skin became thickened with that.
Yeah.
Means I knew that I'm going to get these things, so I didn't mind.
Right.
And also there was some saying that all immigrants, first immigrants, they have to pay their dues, irrespective of the country of origin. So I didn't mind. I thought I'm paying my dues like that. So that's it. And in between, when I got when I got laid off from Saginaw, Michigan, I thought this is a good blessing in disguise because that was a good opportunity for touring USA.
Okay.
So I bought tent,
Mm-hmm.
I had a car, and we had a carrier, and we decided to camp all around USA
Okay.
because there was unlimited time. So we set for tour, and we used to stop at every camping ground.
And camping was inexpensive, right? Compared to
Yeah.
Camping was not expensive, just we had to pay $10 per day.
$10, $7, some place free also.
and the whole family can
Yeah, for
move
whole
in.
family.
So we could accommodate whole family in the tent.
Yeah.
So children, your brothers, sisters, they used to erect the tent in evening.
Yeah.
In morning they'll
Take it down.
take it down.
And
Mummy used to prepare khichdi. We are vegetarian, you know.
yeah.
So khichdi, we had taken cooker and all this in person.
Mm-hmm.
and there used to be grocery store nearby, bread,
Yeah.
and we should start and move around like that. So like that we saw number of places in Tennessee, Alabama, Huntsville, Alabama, Lost Sea World, like that,
Yeah.
and Florida. We saw the Space Center. We also saw the Space Center in Huntsville. We went all the way up to Key West.
Okay. Yeah.
Then also we went to Disney World. Came back, Gainesville. There was the ashram of Hare Krishna. From there we went to Mountsville. Like that we enjoyed. That was a good enjoyment. It's a really.
Yeah.
But nowadays people go to motel, they don't know what is that enjoyment.
Yeah. Yeah. You took a
And
layoff.
we don't have AC in our car. Because we are from north, and north doesn't require too much AC in the
right.
car.
I didn't buy AC car because I thought we are in Chicago,
so
we
cold.
don't require it. But suddenly we had to
Yeah.
go in south. So anyhow we had to face that trouble. But it was a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I've seen the videos. It looked like we had a fun trip.
Yeah,
Fun
it
time.
was a fun trip. Yeah,
Good. Well, you turned a negative layoff into something positive. So that's
yeah,
very
yeah.
commendable. So on this camping trip, you were still actually looking for a job, right? When you went to Florida and all these places.
Correct. Because when you get unemployment benefit, you have to show that you are searching job, looking for a job. And I used to go and report to the unemployment office in Florida and elsewhere after 2 weeks that I'm looking for the job.
Yeah.
So that will be a proof. And because of that proof, I get my benefit, unemployment benefit. My mommy used to get angry. What you are doing? You are coming here for vacation?
Or to go to work.
You still are looking for a job.
Because he leave us on the campground and go.
All right.
So that was the.
Okay. Yeah. Well, at least we got to see the country.
Yeah, once a week he has to do this.
Yeah.
Once or twice.
So you've seen a lot of places, it looks like, because of your job, going from one
Yeah.
place to the other. I think I vaguely remember me and Mummy going to India, me, Mummy, and Nilima going to India, I think when I was like 4 or 5 years old. And at this point in time, we were living in Boston. And when we came back, I think you had moved to Houston. And this was your final move, and we were permanently going to move to Houston, but we were all surprised to that. So what are some other places that you've been to, and why did you go from Boston to Houston and that?
Okay, that's a good story. We used to live in Boston, but my job was in New Hampshire, Seabrook, 50 miles away.
Mhm.
So I used to work for nuclear industry, and I had nuclear experience. At that time, in Texas, they started new nuclear project, South Texas nuclear project.
Mhm.
They were looking for nuclear engineers. At the same time in Houston, they were laying off people, petrochemical industry experience, refinery experience engineers.
Alright.
But they were not selecting them. They wanted nuclear experience.
Right.
So I got laid off from New Hampshire,
Uh-huh.
and I applied and I got a job. Now the job was in Bay City. And we did not have good schools over there, and we had good schools in Houston. And my elder brother Parag, they were in high school. So for the good school, I selected Houston. And that's how we came here.
That's 18.
And I was doing up and down from here to 90 miles, Bay City. But luckily we had a carpool, we were 5 people, so
Yeah.
we had to drive once a week.
Okay.
But we had to report at the parking lot at about 5 o'clock in the morning, and if you miss that, you had to drive all the way alone.
Yeah.
So we had to be careful for that.
To make it in time.
Yeah.
So you settled in Houston for schools because my older brother and sister, they were in high school at that time, and so you
Yeah.
wanted something more stable for them.
Yeah, and we also took advantage of the economy.
Yeah.
Economy was bad for the other people,
But good for
but
you.
it was blessing for me
Yeah.
because people were getting laid off and all these things.
Mhm.
So people were foreclosing their homes.
Right.
So they are selling their home, they are giving homes to the banks. So finally I got a very good deal. I bought a home from
Right.
the bank, and we stayed in that home. Still we have that home,
Right.
and actually you should have the fond memories of that home.
I do. Yeah.
Because my all children got married from that home.
Yeah.
And when my son-in-law, he came from India, he got initial support.
There, yeah.
My daughter-in-law also be here.
Yeah.
She got support. So everything was accomplished in that home. Even grandchildren, they were born over there.
They came home.
So
yeah.
it was a good memory.
Yeah.
But now it became very big home, so finally we have moved to Katy, it's a small home. But we like that home. We got everything in that home actually. Nearby a lake,
right.
YMCA is very nearby because I'm fond of health. So you can go there, everything nearby, and good suburb.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So yeah, I definitely remember that house. I mean, I hope we never sell it. I have so many memories from there. I grew up there from childhood all the way.
I also don't want to sell, but eventually
Yeah.
we will have to sell the home.
Eventually, yeah.
But this home is also not bad. It's just the backyard is just like a resort-like view.
Yeah.
Swimming pool, lake nearby, YMCA nearby, where I go usually.
Yeah.
Everything is nearby. What else you require? You don't require anything.
Right. That's good. So I guess Houston has been a good move. I mean, the weather is more easier to live with. It's similar to Indian weather. There's a lot of engineering companies here now. Even though you originally came here for a nuclear engineering job, but now I guess oil and gas is more prevalent, so there's lots of engineering jobs. So it's a good, stable place to be, and this is why you ended up here. But I guess you've also worked in a lot of different places, even after moving to Houston and settling in Houston. So
Yeah, that was a problem also. When I had a nuclear experience, that helped me.
Yeah.
At the same time, it did not help me.
Right.
Because when nuclear was going down, at the same time petrochemical and refinery was coming up.
Right.
And when I was looking job in Houston, they were asking petrochemical and refinery experience.
Right.
And when they found the word nuclear in the resume, they will throw it in the waste paper basket. So I had to fabricate, I had to hide all this nuclear experience.
So it's going back
But they were also smart. They knew from the history of the companies
Yeah.
that he has this nuclear experience. So I had a problem. So finally I got the first chemical job in Beaumont, 100 miles. So I was doing up and down.
Yeah.
That's how I got the job.
Yeah.
And from there I got a job in Houston.
Very nice.
But I still wanted to come to Houston because of the good India-like climate.
Yeah.
So I was happy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good place. You've also, I guess, worked in London for a little while, Japan, Utah,
Yeah.
and some
So-
maybe Augusta. So you
Yeah,
can
my job took me to a number of places like Boston, Massachusetts, Saginaw, Michigan, Georgia, Anniston, Alabama, Utah. So, and whenever they wanted some person, if they don't get it, they hired me for London job too.
Right.
And also they hired me for Japan job too. So
Right.
they sent me to Japan because they were not getting people.
Yeah.
Even though I did not have that experience
They still are.
for their job,
Yeah.
but when their need comes, they will hire anybody.
Right. Yeah.
So
when
I
they-
did not have experience in LNG, and they hired me for LNG job and sent me to Japan.
That's the way life works. I guess when you needed a job when you were first here, you couldn't find one. Now you don't need one. They keep asking you.
Yeah, but that means whatever happens, happens for good. That's
Yeah.
what my mother used to tell me, and that has been the fact in my life. My life has been always progressive, and whatever happened for good.
Yeah. No, definitely. So, I know you're very proud of your Indian heritage. I mean, I am too. We all. You're very proud of your Indian heritage, Indian culture. So, what are some things that you are proud of? What are some things you live by or you like to live by?
Yeah, I am proud of the Indian culture because this has been developed long back. Our Rishis and Munis, I don't understand, you may not understand the meaning of that. Rishis and Munis means scientists, old scientists.
Right.
They devised way of life for us, what food we should take. Now this thing, what should be your lifestyle.
Right.
So our Indian culture and life is based upon that. People don't realize that thing. They think, and they like Western culture, something like that.
Right.
But I like this Indian culture. So I have been following that, and particularly I like vegetarian.
Vegetarianism.
Yes. You should not make your stomach the graveyard
Right, right.
for the birds, fish, animals. Why you should make the graveyard?
Right.
Even I am not in favor of taking eggs. Why you should?
Yeah.
So that thing I like. And also the joint family system.
Mhm.
And our the languages have got very good treasure. I know, luckily I had to learn 4 languages, including Sanskrit. When they used to teach me Sanskrit, I was thinking, why they are teaching me Sanskrit? It's an old dead language. But now I understand, realize importance, and I thank God that they gave me opportunity to learn Sanskrit.
Yeah.
At that time, I did not want to learn Sanskrit. I was thinking, why they don't teach French?
Right.
Why they don't teach German?
Right.
I even bought books to learn French and German, something like that. But now I realize the importance of Sanskrit. But that importance, I don't know whether it will be realized by second generation or future generation or not.
Yeah.
And even in music, it's good music.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. So, what are some? If you had advice to offer to people, what would be the advice you would offer to
First-
future generations, to your grandkids, to their kids, and on and on? What would you guys say?
Okay, the first generation they came here, they were hardworking,
Mhm.
they were intelligent, they followed Indian lifestyles, all these things, and they are educated, and you see them, they are very prosperous, and they are very prosperous in all ways. Second generation, they imbibe the same values to the second generation also.
Mhm.
They are also doing well.
Right.
Because they followed this, they imbibe the value of the Indian culture and all these things to the next generation, and they followed. And if the second generation does not do that,
Yeah.
it will be bad thing, unfortunate thing.
Yeah.
And that is not in our control. God knows, it is under God's control. So, but it depends upon what the second generation does.
Right.
There are 2 living examples.
Mhm.
One, Indians living in West Indies.
Mhm.
Other, Indians living in Africa. The West Indies people, they lost the culture. Now they are trying to come back to Indian culture. Now they realize they try to come back.
Yeah.
But that is not, it was not their fault. They forgot because they did not keep in touch with Indian culture. See the African people. They kept in touch with African Indian culture. They used to come here. They had contact with that, and they are doing very well. They are prosperous and all this thing. But I should not blame them because the people who went to West Indies, they were not accomplished people, educated or something.
Yeah.
They were forcefully taken. The people went to Africa, they went willingly, but they maintained the contact.
Right.
That's all. In the same way, in future generations, if they don't maintain the contact, you see what we are seeing right now.
Right.
So they have to maintain the contact.
Yeah.
And other thing is health is wealth.
Yeah.
And I think you can maintain the health if you follow the Indian ways of life. Something like that, do yoga, all these things.
Yeah.
All these things.
No, I agree. As I was growing up, you always used to tell me. I always remember hearing that one saying, and I always remember you telling me, put your 100% effort into whatever you do. If you don't achieve your goal, at least you've attained. You put all your effort, and you can't be sad about that. You have to move on because you put everything that you had into it. And it's
Yeah,
good
you
to
have to
work
put
out.
100% effort because if you are successful, then it's okay. This helps you.
Yeah.
But if you are not successful, then you may repent. If you don't put 100% effort, then you repent. I should have put the 100% effort.
Yeah.
So anyhow, it helps.
Yeah.
You don't become sorry for that.
Yeah.
And other thing is, whatever happens for good.
Right.
It is the case in my case. Life has been progressive always.
Right. So, What about you, Mummy? You know, being a vegetarian is a big thing to Papa, and because of you, you used to make food every single day at home for us, and you know, I never even had to think about eating out food, or you know, while I was growing up. So, what is your advice, you know, to everybody? Do you have any advice to future generations?
Yeah, when you stick together in family,
Mm-hmm.
you will make your life good.
Yeah.
Sometimes some sacrifices has to made, but it will be for good.
Right.
It is good feeling.
Right. You're right. Right.
And because of you, if you cook home food, it makes your mind feel good also when you eat food and like that. So it's good for economically and healthy and everything.
No, you're right. Yeah, I guess when you first came, to Chicago, you know, at that time it was probably not much food to eat outside anyway. So.
Anyway, yeah, that time nothing. Just, but the things are available. You can make it and eat it.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? I meant to ask you about this. You know, you're 70. You said you turned 75. Papa turned 75 this year, and honestly, you don't look like you're 75 to me. What do you do to keep your health, stay healthy?
Okay. During unemployment, to remove the stress, I was doing running, jogging, all these things, so that there may not be stress, and I did not have stress.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily, I don't have any health problem like blood pressure, cholesterol, or any problem. No joint pain, no headache. I don't know what is aspirin, Tylenol. I have not taken. Nothing. Except two problems: hearing, which you know that little bit. But there is no. You cannot cure it by lifestyle or food habit.
Right.
And something like that. So the best thing is to do. What I do in the morning, I do yoga exercise and all these things.
Mm-hmm.
The Ramdev Baba's Patanjali yoga.
Mm-hmm.
And then I used to see that I do my treadmill, machine exercise, and also swimming every day. And I have been taking food only at home. I have not eaten anything outside. You might have seen me.
Yeah.
I have never gone to pizza or anything, McDonald's or anywhere. So I believe in home food, and luckily I used to get because of Mummy.
Right.
So even outside, whenever I used to work outside, I used to take home food for 3 to 4 days. So I believe in that.
What about since after you've retired? You've ran some half marathons and marathons?
Yes, I've completed about 6 half marathons, and I was in my age group. I was in midway. Even I did a half marathon in January. This January, about 40 people finished their half marathon. I was the last. But anyhow, I could complete the half marathon.
Yes.
Yeah, even I did my 10-kilometer race in Katy. In 2013, I was first, but because very few people took part. And second time, I was second in my age group.
Okay.
In the half marathon, there were about 22,000 people took part.
Yeah.
So I believe that one should do that.
Yeah. Good.
That tells that I don't have any health problem.
Definitely. I wish I could. I haven't even ran one at this age, at my age right now. I'm 34, and I'm hoping I can do the same thing you've done.
Now, if you follow the same lifestyle, whatever I have been following, you will have that.
Right. I'll do my best.
And don't worry about the future. I got light mind and light body. Light mind means no worry.
Yeah.
And no fear, and light body means no physical problems. And if you have got light body and light mind, you don't require anything.
Anything else?
It is just like heaven. What else do you really expect?
Yeah. Do you guys have any regrets coming to the U.S.? or has it been actually helpful? You know, you guys have been to India a few times. Has that been actually? You've seen a lot of India. Do you think you would have seen that much of India if you actually just stayed in India?
No, never.
Never.
Every trip we took at least 8. I'm living here 40 years. In India, I live only 28 years.
Right.
And we took 11, 12 trips this time. And we saw India, everything from north to south, east to west. Everything we have seen.
All the mandirs,
All,
the important
everything, yeah. We have went to Mansarovar also.
Kailash, I did these 3 days parikrama.
in
It's
Tibet.
very hard, yeah.
It's in Tibet now, right? In
Yeah.
China.
Yeah.
One person had to go back to the border because he had some problem with the blood pressure and all this thing. He had to go back.
Right.
So we did parikrama.
Yeah. So those are things that
Yeah.
you don't.
Even though I miss India, but I'm happy here also.
Good. I'm happy you guys are here. I'm
Yeah.
very happy to be
Yeah.
to be here, to be
Yeah.
born here,
Yeah.
and you know, to be here right now interviewing
Yeah.
you guys. Do you have any other comments or thoughts about your life or anything else?
Time permitting, I can give that. I don't know how much is time. Okay. That means nothing. As you know, the health is wealth.
Yeah.
And that's it. What I can say, that means. And I hope that future generations will learn from this series.
Yeah.
And they understand the importance of Indian ways of life, Indian culture life, and they follow the same thing.
Yeah.
And they should learn the lessons. If they don't follow the lifestyle, what will happen? And joint family system is always helpful. You have to sacrifice something, but your benefits are much more than expected.
Yeah.
You people are here because of the
Joint family.
joint family system help.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, doing this interview, asking you these questions, looking at these questions, you know, honestly, I didn't know all the struggles you went through. I knew you had to have struggled when you first came here, and you must have had to struggle when you came here. But, you know, I was the last born in our family, so by the time I was born, we were a little bit more, getting more settled, so I never saw any of this. So this sheds a lot of light on how your life was, you know, early on, and how it gives me importance of how I need to continue, you know, to be progressive just like you have, instead of going backwards. And it gives me, you know, hope that anybody can do it. If you can come here from a country with, I don't know how much you said, I think you've told me before, you only had $8 in your pocket when you first came here, and now you have a family that's, you know, you're financially stable.
Yeah. I don't have any desire. I don't know what desire I should have. I fulfill all my dream. Actually, I should thank Krishna Babilala
Yeah.
for giving this opportunity. And also, who is founder actually? He started this institute. And all credit goes to him, and also Indo-American Oral History Project.
Thank you. Me too. I thank the Indo-American History Project for bringing us here, letting us share our story, and I hope, you know, anybody listening to this in the future will learn a little bit about what the struggles were early on for, you know, the first group of Indians that came here. I know I have, and I have, you know, my dad's the first generation. I didn't know everything. I just learned things myself. So thank you very much, and I think that's it.